Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our first in-person Council President briefing. A quick housekeeping note, we will continue to schedule in-person briefings on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. as needed through early December. These briefings will be held at the Council Office Building on the 6th floor, where we are now, in the Potomac River Room. All briefings will be videotaped and posted to the Council's Facebook and YouTube pages after the meeting concludes. We appreciate your flexibility and patience as we launch this new format that we are really excited to launch with you all today. I'll first start with a couple of Council matters. We just this morning celebrated African Heritage Month. I want to wish everyone a happy African Heritage Month. As many of you know, Montgomery County was the first county in the nation, the first jurisdiction in the nation to officially designate September as African Heritage Month, and we're continuing that tradition. This was the 5th annual commemoration at the Council building, and we are celebrating African heritage, culture, and contributions. Montgomery County is proudly home to a vibrant African community, with the African population accounting for over 16% of the overall immigrant population. I was honored to join hundreds of people at the Ethiopian Day festivities in downtown Silver Spring a few weeks ago. And last week, we kicked off African Heritage Month in downtown Silver Spring at the Civic Building. Unfortunately, we all know that we are living under this current federal administration that is working to dismantle formal recognition of diversity, culture, and heritage, and attacking our immigrant communities. But we know here in Montgomery County, we are going to continue to celebrate our heritage is here, and we will not fold to the pressures of the federal administration. We know that our diversity is our greatest strength, and we will continue to support and celebrate and protect our immigrant communities. This year's theme is From the Continent to the County, Living the Legacy. And to celebrate this year's theme, the Council honors several community and business leaders who are contributing in unique ways to our community. Moving on now to legislative items from this morning. I'm proud to say that the Council unanimously voted to pass Bill 21-25. This is legislation that I introduced that will provide broader and more generous property tax credits to Montgomery County child care businesses to help them stay in operation. The legislation will expand eligibility for existing child care tax credit and increase the permitted amount of the credit from $3,000 to $10,000. Access to affordable, quality child care is not just a parenting issue, but it is also an economic issue. Supporting our child care providers is essential to making sure our residents are able to live and work in our county and is key to our economic growth. This legislation was made possible thanks to Delegate Julie Polakovich-Carr, who introduced enabling legislation in Annapolis last session that allows local jurisdictions to expand the amount and eligibility of tax credits for child care providers. I want to thank Council Vice President Jawando and Council members Albanaz, Friedson, Katz, Glass, Sales, and Lukey for co-sponsoring this legislation. Now on to the next bill. The Council also passed legislation today that will require labor peace agreements between hotel employers and unions as a condition of the county's financial participation in hotel development projects. I was proud to co-lead this legislation with Council members Natalie Fanny-Gonzalez as well as Sidney Katz. Labor peace agreements aim to help prevent strikes, lockouts, or labor disputes that could disrupt operations. These agreements will protect the county's economic interests by ensuring stable labor relations in projects where it shares fiscal risk or potential return. While the Trump administration is ignoring federal labor laws and eviscerating workers' rights, it's critically important that we do our part to ensure workers' rights and establish fair contract for corporate partners at the local level. The bill will apply when the county has a proprietary interest in a hotel project and stands to gain financially through leases, loans, guarantees, or tax increment financing. The bill requires contracts between the county and project developers to include provisions that enforce compliance. Employers can comply by entering an agreement, showing no union requested one, or by demonstrating a union acted unreasonably in negotiations. I want to thank Council Member Friedson for working with me on a number of amendments when this was in committee session, and I'm glad to say that with the amendments, this passed unanimously. This bill will apply only to future projects and not any hotel development efforts already in progress or previously awarded. These contracts are the norm in our region for the hospitality and tourism industry and bring us up to date with industry standards and best practices. The legislation ensures that our community is staying true to its values in public-private partnerships moving forward. On topic 4, we had the council also passed 2 additional bills today. The other bill we passed was Bill 18-25, the Forest Conservation Trees. This makes up updates to align the county code with recent changes made to the state forest conservation law. The bill passed with amendments as recommended by the Transportation and Environment Committee. In addition to technical and clarifying revisions, the legislation proposed by the Planning Department addresses tree save plans, afforestation as it relates to solar botanic facilities, retention requirements, and the reinstatement of forest mitigation banks that protect existing forests. And I test you to say that 3 times really fast. So that was the Forest Conservation Bill. The next one we passed was Bill 25-26, Taxation Payments in Lieu of Taxes, Public Housing Authorities, which defines housing authorities and expands the automatic payment in lieu of taxes, or better known as pilots, for public housing authorities of qualifying housing developments, among other changes. The purpose of the bill is to increase the housing stock in the county by expanding the existing tax abatement programs for an affordable housing development owned or controlled by a public housing authority or an affiliated nonprofit entity or of a public housing authority. A pilot provides a negotiated agreement that allows the county to lower or exempt 100% of the cost of real property taxes in exchange for a property owner's commitment to provide affordable housing. The lead sponsor on this was Councilmember Katz. Other things that are coming up for the council. Tonight, the council will hold its second of 2 public hearings on the University Boulevard Corridor Plan. That public hearing is at 7 p.m. tonight here at the council office building in Rockville. Our first public hearing was held last week on September 10th at Montgomery Blair High School, where we had the opportunity to hear from more than 50 speakers and more than 100 additional community members came out to hear their neighbors. I want to thank all the speakers and residents who took time out of their busy schedules to join us on a weeknight and participate with civility and respect. I look forward to hearing from additional community members this evening. The council received a briefing about the plan on September 9th. The council's Planning, Housing, and Parks Committee is scheduled to begin its review of the plan on September 29th. Next, some upcoming special events we have this week and next week. Tomorrow on September 17th, I will hold a special panel event in partnership with Montgomery History to discuss Montgomery County's 250th anniversary and reflect on its history and future. In 2026, Montgomery County and the United States will both celebrate their 250th anniversaries. And to kick off this milestone in local and national history, I will lead a panel discussion about the importance of knowing and reflecting on our history, how it shapes the county today, and how it can help inform current and future actions that impact our community. The event will feature diverse perspectives from special guests, including Montgomery County Public Library's Director, Darcel Graham, Rebecca Ballo, the Acting Historic Preservation Division Chief at Montgomery Planning, Commission on Women Chair Sheena Foster, and an MCPS student representative. I hope you can all join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. in the Council's first floor auditorium. All are welcome to join us. Next, we have on Friday, September 26th, my office and the Silver Spring Regional Services Office will be hosting our 3rd annual Buckets and Beats event, our Silver Spring Youth Block Party in downtown Silver Spring. The free block party will be held from 2 to 6 p.m. at Veterans Plaza in downtown Silver Spring. This is after an early dismissal day from MCPS. There will be a variety of activities targeted toward middle and high school students, including basketball, basketball and pickleball tournaments, arts activities. We'll also have a DJ, free food, and prizes from our local businesses. This is one of my favorite events of the year because it brings out our community, brings us together, and showcases the great resources we have here in the county. Thank you to all our partners for coming together each year to make this celebration possible, and we invite you to come out and join us as well. And that is all I have for right now, and I'm going to turn it over to Jordan to moderate questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Council President Stewart. News reporters from news outlets, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll call on you accordingly. You can go ahead and state your name and the organization you're with. We'll also be taking some written questions from members of the public who are joining us, and we'll follow up accordingly. So if we have any questions from news organizations, just say your name and organization. Jenny.
Hi, Jenny Bixby with the Banner. I have a few, shockingly.
Okay.
With the University Boulevard Corridor Plan, there's been a lot of feelings and emotions in the community, and I just wanted to make sure I have correctly. When is the next council action? I know this, is the council required to take action on this? I know the committee is reviewing it. How is that? What does the path forward look like for that?
Yeah, so next it will go, and I'm looking for the date that I said, to the Parks, Housing and Planning, the Planning, Housing and Parks Committee in a couple of weeks at the end of September 29th. And depending on that committee, lots of times when we deal with plans like this, they may do one or two or maybe even three committee sessions. Once we have a recommendation from the committee, it will come to the full council.
Gotcha, thank you. And then my other question was regarding the hotel and labor bill. I believe that I know that this was somewhat inspired by the issues at the North Bethesda Marriott, and I believe you told me that it's that contract with the county is up in 2034, so it wouldn't affect them for a while. Are there plans in the works for other hotels that are looking to partner with the county? Like, do you think that this would come into play before 2034?
It's quite possible. I mean, and I think we all would hope so, right? Because we want growth in our county. We want to see people investing. And we know particularly everything that's going on in the country, not just with our local economy, but the economy nationally, that we need to partner with businesses who come to the county. And so I'm hopeful that actually we would have a partnership with someone in the hotel industry to come to the county, and that this may play a role. Great. And I just want to say welcome from the Banner to the Banner, to these. I think this is your first time being here from the Banner, and we're very glad you're here.
Thank you.
Miriam Shazad, MyMCM.
Yeah, thank you. On the students and immigration issues, like there was an arrest near Eastern Middle School last week, and I know Councilmember Mink was talking about that, but just wondering, is there anything new happening at the council level, like conversations or just anything related to, the issues of students and immigration or just ICE in general?
Sure. So unfortunately, given the situation from our federal government, and we know that they're putting more and more resources into immigration enforcement, we are in constant contact with other branches of our county government, whether that be the county executive's office, working with our local law enforcement, which I just want to underscore, again, our local law enforcement does not do immigration enforcement. And just I can't repeat that enough for folks. We also work very closely with Montgomery County Public Schools, and we have a number of nonprofit organizations that we work with in the community as well, because this is an all hands on deck situation. It really threatens our families, our members of our community, and unfortunately, when someone is detained by ICE, we need to make sure that we're able to track where they're taken so that we can help the families and that we're connecting the families with resources. And I should also say that we are working close partnership with our federal delegation as well, particularly Congressman Raskin's office and Senator Van Hollen's office.
Thank you. So are you able to track people, or does the council do that?
Well, each person, so anyone can, if you have someone's what's called an A number, there is a database in which you can look at where someone is being transferred, and that's very important. The other thing I will say is that, and we're encouraging all the families to make sure they have a safety plan. I will say that Montgomery County Public Schools has done an excellent job of sending information home to their families, making sure people have guardianship forms. We can't provide legal advice here to families, but we recommend that they look at their own family situation, assess their risk, and get support. And we have partnerships with CASA, with a lot of other organizations in the community. If any members of our community have questions, they can reach out to our office, to the federal delegation, and we will connect them to folks to get their questions answered and to help them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Miriam, any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, related to that, a letter was sent out that was signed by like 400 people to Dr. Taylor that, because the incident wasn't like in the school, it was outside of the school, that kind of raised questions about MCPS and their, what their plans are for if things happen outside of the school. Are you guys working with MCPS at all to kind of navigate if it's not happening inside the school, what do they do if it's outside the school?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Dr. Taylor did respond to the parents, and I saw his response. And these situations are ever changing, unfortunately. And we're seeing now, particularly in my district, in the county, a real uptick. And unfortunately, it's not just ICE; it's a lot of different federal agents coming into our county. And so, we're working hand in hand with Montgomery County Public Schools and really thinking about how we can respond as a government, and then also work in partnership, as I said before, with our nonprofit partners, because we also know they're members of our community who feel more comfortable not working with government. So it's an ongoing, constant situation.
Great, thank you. And you're with Bethesda today, correct?
Yeah, Ashton Campbell, sorry.
Great. I didn't know. Thank you, Ashlyn. Any other questions from reporters? All right, back to you, Council President.
Great. Well, that is it for today. We have quite a packed month in September. I hope you all will come back and join us tomorrow for the panel discussion on our 250th anniversary, and then next Friday for Buckets and Beats. With that, we are done, and thank you for joining us today.